guys, it's her from consumer.com. Today I'm going to be doing a review over the Polaroid 2 PoGo instant camera. It's a new camera from Polaroid 2 that has their PoGo printer built right into the camera. When I first pulled this camera out of the box, the first thing I noticed was how big it is. Compared to digital cameras that you usually see being released these days, this is pretty big and clunky. But when you take into consideration that this does have a photo printer built right into the camera, it's pretty forgivable that it's this big. It's not too heavy, it's not too big, but it's not fitting into like normal pockets that I'm walking around with. So the included carrying case that it does have is pretty helpful for the size of the camera. Also, when you first buy the camera, it's not ready to go right out of the box. Say if you're buying the camera for an event that you have, you may want to buy this camera 24 hours in advance so that you can take the camera home and plug it up and have the included rechargeable battery charging overnight so that you're ready to go for your event in the morning and you don't have to worry about short battery life or anything like that. The camera also does have internal memory. There is a spot on the bottom, the latch opens, and there's a spot right here on the bottom for a SD card as well. The battery goes right here, and then there's a slot for SD card, but that's optional. Right now, my camera is functioning just solely off the internal memory. It's not huge, but it's enough for a few pictures, even on the 7 megapixel setting. Right now, my camera is on a 5 megapixel setting, just so I have room for more pictures. And because I'm using this camera for its intended purposes, which is to print the instant pictures, I'm not using it for bigger pictures to print out or anything, so I just have it on 5 megapixel setting. The power button's right here on top, so I'm going to press it and turn it on for you guys to see. The screen on the back is pretty big and it's not very laggy. It is a live viewfinder screen. When you're taking pictures, you can see the pictures as you're taking it. Take the picture and then it shows right up on the back so you can see what your picture looks like. On top is a tilt button for the digital zoom that's on the camera. It has 4 times digital zoom. It doesn't have real zoom, so right away when you start zooming in, you will notice a little bit of graininess on your pictures. I don't really tend to like the digital zoom. I try to just get as close as I can with my actual camera, of course, but it does work for when you need it. There's also a slide button on the side. This is for normal shooting. You can slide it down for macro setting to where you're taking pictures of something really close and you need the camera to focus. Like if you're trying to take a picture of your wedding ring or a picture of a flower or something up close, you would want to put it on the flower setting right here, which is macro setting. And then when you're done, just switch it back up to regular setting and you'll be good to go. If you do at any time notice that your camera's not focusing on what you want to focus on and you see it kind of out of focus, just check that setting right there to make sure that you have it on the regular setting or macro setting, depending on how you're focusing. If you were using an SLR camera, it would be what you would want to change your lens for. But since this is just a point and shoot digital camera, that little switch here on the side will do what you need to do for this camera. Under the tilt button is a button for to switch between the live viewfinder mode, and if you push it, you can switch through the pictures that you've taken. Just by pressing left and right here, you can see all the pictures that you've taken. And then you can press that same button again and switch back to the live viewfinder mode and camera mode. Under that is a button right here for menu, and you can go through the camera's memory to switch the sound on or off on the camera, the language, the date. You can make the picture size different. As you can see, mine's on 5 megapixel. It's setting right there. If you press the middle button, you can change it to 7 megapixel, 3 megapixel, 5 megapixel, 1.3 megapixel, or smaller. And if you set it on smaller settings, the internal memory will hold more. If you set it on larger settings, it will hold less. And the higher the setting is, the more detailed your picture will be and clear. There's some other settings there too, but the default settings are pretty well set. Go back to the live camera mode by pressing this. Down here is your wheel, as well as navigating between pictures when you're looking at the playback mode. When you're in the live camera mode, you can use this for different settings. Right here is your timer setting. So you can set the timer and it shows right here on the bottom the different timer. So if you're going to be setting the camera down and taking a family picture from far away, you'll set the timer down and it has different settings for that, how many seconds you want. For our purposes, we're going to turn that off right now to where the timer's off. On the right side, there are settings for the flash, and you can see it right here in the top. There's no flash, automatic flash, flash with red eye reduction. This is a flash always on. There's different flash settings. So right now we're going to put it on the flash with red eye reduction. And then the down button right here will turn on the menu. And this camera has 19 different photo settings that you can look at. Some that are included are the sports setting, beach setting, snow setting, fireworks setting, a setting where you can take a picture of a portrait of a woman or a man close up and it kind of blurs out the background so it's more of a portrait look. There's settings for water, beaches, candlelight, outdoor, anything. The sports setting is one of the most helpful settings, I think. And you can use that for taking pictures of fast-moving objects. Something that you do need to keep in mind with that setting is that when you do turn it on sports setting, if at any time you're having any blurring on your pictures or anything like that, you do need more lighting, or you can try turning your flash on. And if that doesn't help, just try switching back to the main setting, which is the P. The P is the main setting, and so you just want to press the middle button when you choose, and then just switch the settings here, like try turning your flash on or off or something like that. But the higher shutter speed are the settings for fast moving objects like sports or even the pet setting. And sometimes I like to use the pet setting that it has for taking pictures of my kids when they're playing around, because it does tend to give a less blurry picture if I have enough lighting. Also on that same button, there is an option for taking video, so you can shoot video with the same camera, and using the USB cord that it comes with and plugging right here, you can plug it right up to your computer and upload those videos that the camera takes, which are good. And it also has it also supports playback on the camera, and it has the built-in speaker here so you can hear your videos and play them right back on the camera. I'm going to show you what it's like to take a picture with the camera and print it. So we just switch to live mode and take a quick picture. Okay, and so the camera, it shows up right on the back, and it says our memory is now full. There's about 10 pictures on here in the 5 megapixel setting, and this internal memory is now full. So what I would do is print out these pictures that are on here and get them off the camera if I wanted, or I would insert an SD card so it could hold more. It's just really up to you. But for right now, we're not going to worry about that because we're just going to print it. This is just to show you what it's like. So you press this button down here next to the delete button is print. You press print and it brings up these options. The options are print, number of prints. You can go down to number of prints and select to print more than one copy. And then the camera has an automatic crop feature, which you can select how much you want to crop the picture right here on the camera. A photo border, to where you can print a border around the picture that is going to print out. An option to fix the red eye right here on the camera so that your picture that comes out doesn't have red eye. And then the bottom is an option to turn the date print on the camera, or you can turn a label on to where it prints out with the word right there. We're just going to select the top print option just to print the default way. Press OK, and then we're going to scroll through the pictures to print which picture we want. And then when we decide what picture we want, we're going to press OK, and it's going to print. But first, before printing, like right now, I don't think it has any printer paper in, so you'll just hear a noise. And then we want to open this and put picture paper in there, because there's none in there right now. So what we're going to do is load picture paper with the blue side down first, always, and put it in there. If it's not your first time to print, you don't have to put the blue in, but for anyone who's first time to print with the packet, you do have to put the blue side in first. And load the picture paper in the square with the blank side up, and just kind of shuffle it around so it all gets in the square, and then close this. And then once there's paper loaded in there, you'll hear it going. And in about a minute, the picture will be done printing. And it'll come out right here. The printer does print out pictures that are 2 by 3 inches. And to me, that sounds really small, but I was surprised at how well this picture does come out. The picture quality is pretty comparable to printing out a picture on a regular printer, I think, except that the picture paper is higher quality. So there's our picture we just took. And another fun option of this printer is that you can, on the paper, you can peel back the paper and it becomes an adhesive backed picture that you can put right into an album or give to someone else. Or it could also be something fun for like a wedding to have at your guest book table, have the picture there, and then as guests come in they can all take quick pictures of themselves so that you can have that forever and put it right there in your guest book right next to what they're writing. And it would create a fun memory book for you, something that you could keep forever. I really wish that I had this camera when I got married so I could do that, but if you haven't already gotten married, I really think that you should use that idea. It would also be good for family reunions or other things like that. And in a classroom, I really can see a lot of good use for this with teachers. Even just any family that has kids could get a lot of use out of this, because this is a fun camera to use no matter what age you are. We all want to see something instant and something that we can hold on to from a meeting with a friend that we don't see very often, or something to have something to give them right there wherever you are, just using the camera. I hope that you learned something from watching my video on the Polaroid 2 PoGo instant camera, and if you have any more questions, feel free to let me know. I do have several other videos on consumer.com, so if you want to see any more reviews of products, just go there and check out what we have. Thank you so much.